What are some subtle signs that someone is mentally unstable? I grew up in a pretty shitty environment with a lot of violence. I had to pick up on things that could help determine who's a threat or not. One of the biggest things I tend to notice is a certain type of glazed look in their eyes. Some people can see it easily and others don't. It's not always emotionless. It's more like an intensely still expression, like their face is frozen. Edit. To add another angle, not totally off subject, but another sign of someone wanting to do something bad not everyone knows about is called witness checking. If someone is trying to keep your attention on them while they're looking around all over the place to see who's watching, you need to get away fast. Well, there's a guy next to me at the ER right now that has been mumbling about how much he hates Sean for literally 3 hours now. So that. I think a subtle sign that someone is emotionally unstable is when they display moods in front of everyone that seems suspiciously extreme. Whether they are constantly super sunny, always smiling, and overly friendly, never seem to have a bad mood, etc., or, on the contrary, they don't hide their bad mood, and when they are in a bad mood, everyone feels a little uncomfortable. 1. Self-destruction, like slow suicide through substance abuse. 2. Narcissistic grandiosity. They need and have to be the main character at every given second. When people start having normal conversation, they flip out and create drama. Spiraling hygiene habits. Sharing posts on social media about haters gonna hate and how people are so jealous of them. They don't remember a lot of recent events, like how they got angry at you for small things not too long ago or made you feel bad. They just forget what they did. I worked with a guy on meds for schizophrenia. Whenever someone said something to him, it was like he had to stop what he was doing, internalize it, determine the right course of action, and respond. You could kind of see all of it going on. When he told me his condition, it made sense. The strangest part is that he kind of wore his body like a costume, like you really weren't taking to him but someone sitting inside of him. Hard to explain. Intense, impulsive, emotional. Just 3 words to describe myself. When someone is starting to avoid friends or family, it's an indication that he's suffering mentally. People can't notice it, but as time goes by it would be very visible. The sudden changes, and everything else, will follow. If they start to open up after a brief moment of knowing you, like, all I know your name is Elise and you work in the next stall, after I picked up politely the pin you accidentally dropped, does not mean I want to hear how your dad molested your dog yesterday and you ended up in a hospital last weekend because your boyfriend beat you up. Someone who can't maintain relationships for an extended period of time, cycles through friends, that sort of thing. Reading these makes me feel like I might be mentally unstable. Ruro. Black and white thinking, only able to see in extremes. Everyone/everything is either amazing and wonderful or horrible, evil, out to get them. I once had a coworker who seemed really nice, but had this habit of being overly suspicious. For example, during lunch breaks, she would always sit in a corner table, facing the room, and constantly scan the room as if expecting something to happen. One day, she pulled me aside and asked if I thought the boss was spying on her because she noticed the boss looked at her desk too often. She even unplugged her computer overnight, convinced someone was accessing her files. It was subtle at first, but over time, it became more apparent and concerning. Someone who cannot take constructive criticism in a positive way. Overreacts to simple observations. Overall, a self-absorbed person with a touch of narcissism. Extreme reactions to non-extreme situations. Whether it's being quick to anger, immediately suspicious/paranoid of everything, or even being overly exuberant in mildly pleasant situation. Inversely, having no emotional reaction toward anything is also worrying. Hold on, let me list all my personality traits. They are angry all the time and can't control their emotions and throw temper tantrums as an adult. It's fine, everything is fine. Overwhelming sadness or excessive anger. You can't control since it will just happen. These people doesn't need to be condemned. They need professional help and understanding from the people surrounding them. We should not treat them differently, and somehow a little compassion helps a lot. Oversharing. Unable to let go of petty slights and dramas they seem to have inflicted upon themselves. They make it their whole personality. It may go unnoticed in certain professions where there's more wriggle room or expectation for it, actors/musicians, performance/artist types. But in any circumstance, it's a very subtle way of saying, hey, I'm mentally/emotionally incapable of processing when things don't go my way like an adult. Everyone must now agree with me that nothing is fair or you're my enemy. Puts on a baby voice consistently. My wife used to work in retail, and there were these two ladies who would come in every few months and go on a crazy shopping spree. They were the nicest, most outgoing, and friendly ladies ever. The next day, one would show up looking like a shell of the day before and return everything and apologize. Apparently, they were sisters who would get manic episodes, and if their episodes lined up, they would just do crazy things. I just came here to see if I'm potentially mentally unstable in subtle ways, haha. They withdraw. They cancel plans with you. They seem distant and might be more irritable. They joke about dying, e.g., if I'm alive, ha 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 ha. They are reckless. There's a sudden mood changes. Normal people don't easily change moods. But when you notice someone who easily change her mood, then there must be something. I hope people would also realize and be educated on how to deal people with mental illness. It's so sad some are just reacting so negatively dealing with those people when all they need is understanding and compassion. They lie. A lot. And not always about things that make sense to lie about. They might be small little lies of no significance, such as lying about not getting a text from you when you know they ignored it, or lying about something they said in a conversation you previously had. They also will try to gaslight or manipulate you subtly. These people likely are obfuscating something about themselves that they don't want you to know, or are using you as a friendship of convenience, meaning once they get everything out of you, they'll never speak to you again. Keeps laughing for no reason, and then gets sad really quick. It's why I'm getting offended at comments describing me like I'm not actually mentally unstable, lol. Their mood is the only cause of the overall atmosphere of a room. If they're furious or strangely silent, everyone is fidgety, becomes uneasy within seconds of being near them. Everyone pays attention not to anger them, subconsciously. Drama. Variations on a theme. Emotional immaturity / not in control of their emotions / their emotions driving everything they do. Showing zero emotions, excessive fatigue, even after hours of rest. Avoiding issues and showing no interest in dealing with them. They never actually apologize. Or if they do, they always need to give an explanation to why they acted like they did, which involves you doing something that caused their behavior. Bottom line, they're never at fault. When someone loves you unconditionally very shortly after meeting you. Their Reddit username is a color followed by a playing card. People that delete their social medias and then make another one not long after. Same with phone numbers. If somebody's changing their phone number multiple times a year and they don't have like a stalker situation, then something's going on that they're either upsetting people to the point that they need to change it to quit getting harassed, or they're making bad decisions and people are trying to discuss it with them. I'm not saying you should have the same phone number your entire life, but it's just weird to constantly be changing it. Me reading all of these like, man, I should get back in therapy.